Dismiss.
Yeah. What's up? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to the King and Me show. I'm one half of this thing, King.
Hey y'all, it's me, Michelle. How y'all doing?
And we back after last week's kerfuffle.
OMG, last week was so stressful, y'all. So stressful.
I think we worked through all of our tech issues. Give us a thumbs up or put something in the comment section so that we know that you can hear us, that you can see us,
Can
and that
you
we sound
hear
good.
us? Hey, tell me, can you hear us? Hey.
We here at the King and Me show attempt to offer a real outlook on a healthy relationship, real being relatable,
Entertaining,
accountable,
and loving.
We are in partnership with Perry Production over on Facebook. So shout out to the homie Perry Productions for allowing us to use his platform, as well as WTF Nation Radio / US Army WTF Moments, which is what I am wearing now. They are one of the largest online veteran military platforms out there, and we are proud to be in partner with them to come to you guys and gals and talk about what we talk about over here in the dating and relationship space. If you don't know who I am, again, my name is King. I am a U.S. Air Force veteran, and Michelle.
I'm a teacher.
And I thought you said educator.
I'm an educator. Okay, I'm an educator. I am a high school business teacher specifically.
You went through this whole big thing with me.
Okay.
We're educators.
We're educators.
Educators.
The state of Maryland says that anyone who works for a school system, whether you're a bus driver, cafeteria worker, or whatever, you're an educator. So you're right. I am an educator, but specifically, I am a high school business teacher.
Okay. A little bit about us. Our anniversary is coming up next Monday.
Ow.
We are going to be live.
What's the date?
For that. It's going to be December the 6th, 15th, 5/11. October the 20th, 10/20. That's an easy way to remember the anniversary. Thank goodness. Otherwise, because like, we're different in that. Like, I'm not saying like I don't care about anniversaries, because I care about every day. So every day is important to me.
That's like giving out trophies, participation trophies to everyone. No day is special because all days are special.
It is. You should be thankful and happy to be able to wake up to me every single day. I said what I said. Every single day. That is how you should wake up.
Let's go.
So how y'all doing? All right, let's see if we got any chats here before we continue. Shout out to Richard Bronco. Richard's in the building. Hey, appreciate you popping in.
Wasn't it Branco?
Branco, yes, my bad. See, this is me and my whole memory.
And this is me remembering because I care.
Yo. Integrity. Character. That was a whole acronym for I care.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what's the ARE?
Accountability.
Okay. And where was this from? Was this from the military?
The VA. But not like not what I do in the VA. Not what I do in the VA. It was an acronym in a different part of the VA, the healthcare department. I don't work healthcare. Or was it benefits? It was
my God.
Unrelated to me.
Never mind.
Unrelated to me. So today's episode and what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking about dating or being in a relationship while deployed. And this is specifically kind of towards the military or veteran community, but we also think that this could be applicable to the civilians or the non-military sector as well, because as you're being in a relationship with somebody, there could be opportunities for maybe college or a job, and there's going to be challenges and things that kind of come along with that. So that's going to be the focus and topic for today's subject.
So deployed doesn't necessarily mean what we would instinctively think when we think about military. Deployed just means away.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. I had to ask this question because I've been out of the military for a while and I was air crew. So when I was active duty air crew, we would do what was called TDYs, temporary deployments. And even our deployments with the way that we operated, right? Regular military, and I'm saying regular military, would do 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, some even longer than that for their deployments. Air crew, depending on what your mission was, would do 45 to 60 to 90 days in theater back home. And then even when you were home, you were still traveling, being that back then times were a little bit different than how they are now. So I averaged about 200 and some days traveling on the road. Think about that. I want you to think about this and answer this question right now. If we were together, and let's say we were early in our relationship trying to establish something, do you think that that kind of operations tempo would have been something that you would have been okay with if the military had me on the road that much average throughout the year? And this was pre-FaceTime days.
But like you already knew I couldn't have been a military wife.
Yes.
You already knew that about me. Because
Yes.
I mean, if you think about it, we're talking the average full-time employee. Like we know that they work 2,080 hours a year. So that's 40 hours a week, times 52 weeks in a year. That boils down to roughly about like 240 days a year that a person is working. So 5 days a week times again 52 weeks in a year. You need to tell me that 240-ish, 200 of them days you weren't finna be home?
Correct.
It's like a full-time job that you're not home. Me, Michelle, would not have been okay with that.
And see, that's understandable, but people don't have those type of thoughts. They see this soldier, airman, sailor, spaceman, whoever they are now, in uniform, whether it's guy or gal. They like what they see. Lust kicks in, and they're like, you know what? If they go, I'll be all right.
I'll be fine. I can make a community. No, boo, I need to be held.
Or Jody got your girl, and Jody gonna show up while you gone anyway. So they just don't care.
Just to be close to you,
Jody.
Jody. No, like
Jody got your girl.
No, like I'm gonna be honest. Like my primary love language is tied between physical time and quality touch. No, sorry. Quality touch and physical time. So I need that embrace. Like I just being here, shoulder to shoulder with you makes a difference versus like us trying to do this from two different locations. Like I need this.
Could you support me then if I were to say, you know what? I feel like I'm missing something and I want to go back and enlist to carry out that thing that I'm just missing. And you and we're where we are in our maturation of our current relationship now. I don't even know if that's a word.
It is, but okay. That's different. So we've already established the relationship versus what you said before if we were early in our relationship.
But could you, if I were to raise my hand and say that I want to go back in.
At this grown age that I am now?
At the same ops tempo, could you support me?
I gotta look and see how cute you are. Just
say that a little bit loud. I don't know if the mic picked it up.
The mic probably didn't. It's okay. I mean, you're cute enough. I'd support you.
Well, people are having to make those kind of decisions and stuff now. And there's a lot of factors that go into that when you consider pre-deployment planning, the phase of the person being gone, and then the thing that's big that was impressed upon us when I was still in, but I don't hear so much people talking about it now. Maybe it's because I'm not in anymore. The reintegration when you come back. What that looks like. How do you then go where somebody was out the house for, right now the average is 9 months. You're on a 9-month deployment. And then you come back and now you have to reintegrate and have a new normal for however long or little that's going to be until you're back out the house again.
I don't know. That's weird. Like, I mean, I know people do it. I know the dynamics exist, obviously. But I couldn't imagine doing it. And I think that's simply because, like you said, there is that whole like reintegration of coming back into the household, readjusting to that person being there. That's a whole lifestyle shift. And we don't have kids. So if all things were exactly the same and you were to go back, we don't have kids. Like, I'd be in that house alone. I wouldn't have kids to like occupy my mind and my thoughts. It would just be me. Like, that'd be hard.
It could be. So we are going to talk about some of the things to consider when it comes to that aspect as well. I want to shout out to the sports bar as well. Say, what do you hear? What do you say? Relationships are unique. Mrs. Coach was 30 when we married, and I deployed for 6 months, no less than 3 months after we got married.
What?
Yo. And then said with a follow-up, but I've seen divorce, infidelity, cheating too many times during deployments. Let me not beat around the bush, Michelle. It happens on both sides, at the downrange location and back home.
But then, like, why did you get married then?
Because people are stupid.
I don't know. Like, I feel like that's a waste of time. And I think because I'm so hyper aware of like STDs and stuff like that, I'm just like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
The actual answer, and one of the things that is talked about and is kind of grim when you think about it, is when you realize you can get deployed. Most people, when they think about the possibility of dying, want to know that they're thought about in death.
That's a grim. Gonna be.
That is a grim way of saying that. Oh, and also, why they get married? Money. Yes, there is a bump in your pocketbooks by having a significant other, a spouse. Correct. We got Riley in the building. Said, "What up, yo? What up, Riley? Appreciate you popping in."
No, I'm laughing at what Coach said. Or no, that's not Coach.
That is
politically correct.
Yep, politically correct. It's like, because people are stupid. Which is, I mean, aside from the grimness and realize, yeah, people are just dumb. I was once a young, dumb airman. There's a thing where they say don't be that young, dumb, and it's either airman, soldier, sailor. It's because when you're young, you're dumb. But there's also a lot of dumb older people too. I'm just, you know what, let's just call everybody dumb while we're at it. But all right. Hey, so look, we got people tuning in early. Thank you. If there's a like button on the platform too that you're watching on, do us a favor and click that like button as well. So when you're coming into the pre-deployment phase of things, one of the stuff that matters when it comes to being in a relationship right before you're about to go, whether you're in the service, out of the service or not, we talk about it way too often. Is just have a plan, communicate. What if everything that could happen, so that you can talk about what those things should be?
Oh, okay. So before I answer that, I do want to take a moment to shout out those who are watching on our YouTube page. So shout out to Sarika Smith, who same last name as King Smith, but not related. Best mod in the building. Also shout out to the one and only Larry Smith, who is Supadre, who is also watching. Right? It's Su or two? No.
One of them.
his father. Sorry, I know more ASL than I do. Oh, but I can say Nida Baba because that's Mandarin.
Who needs a baby?
Nida Baba. So Nida meaning yours,
Okay.
Baba meaning father. Nida
Ah,
Baba. Mm-hmm.
you smart.
Shout out to what's that thing called? The little angry face thing that
Duolingo?
Duolingo, yes. Duolingo for that. But yes, they are watching and listening. Everyone else who may be watching on our YouTube but hasn't commented yet, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.
Pop said, by the way, the acoustics is great. Yeah,
Mwah, chef's kiss.
I fixed the sound, Pops. Last week was just a disaster.
Whew.
But I fixed the sound.
I'm so proud of you, baby.
So planning, communication. It's easier to do it if the relationship is in a mature phase. How do you think those that are in an immature phase of their relationship should talk about pre-deployment things, or just let's make it non-military related as well?
I have a perfect example to make it non-military.
Go ahead.
All right, so you remember earlier this year when you had your surgery?
Yes.
So if you're new, earlier this year, King had a defibrillator inserted and he had to get surgery and get cut here and here so that that defibrillator could get inserted. And I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to place the onus on both of us. We kind of waited a little bit too long to do formal paperwork and everything like that. So because of that, we did like a video to talk about his last will and testament. We never aired the video because it was for us in case of an emergency, but we talked about those things. Those are things that we had to iron out. Like, what did you want to, if something happened while you were on that table, what did you want to happen? Where did you want your finances to go? Where did you want to be buried, or did you not want to be buried? Did you want to be cremated? We had to have that conversation. Like we had spoken about it in person before, but we needed to record it and get it like jotted down so that that could serve push comes to shove as an impromptu last will and testament. And it was grim, like thinking about that right before the night before you were about to go into surgery. It was grim. That was heavy, but it was something that we needed to do so that we could ensure that, God forbid something happens, there was a backup plan, a situation that we were going to be able, a procedure, a SOP that we were going to follow.
I'm going to bring a real world example into why this matters. And this is somebody who I know personally and respect. A now no longer an airman because she recently just got out, is a grieving widow as her husband is no longer living. And they were young into their relationship and their marriage. They were married. Hadn't quite made it to a year. And their funeral's tomorrow.
Yeah.
And she is going to be burying her husband, whose physical body is no longer going to be on this earth. I don't know her personally like that to know what her and the young airman talked about. But I can imagine that talks like what we have, being that we're older.
Because we're uncle and aunt status now.
we have had these grim conversations that are not pretty. At all. It's not comfortable to talk about. But I even think that as you are in an early phase of a relationship, whether you're dating or not, or dating or married, you should actually have these kind of conversations. People want to talk about the pretty things. You want to build a future and stuff with somebody, but you don't know when your time's up.
And and again, not to be grim, but one of the things that we very real like say in ministry is that when you're born, there's only one guarantee that you have in life, and that is that you will eventually can we say die?
Yes.
Okay. When you're born in life, you only have one guarantee. Eventually you are going to die. Like that's the only guarantee that you have in life. how you live. You know, we talk about that dash date on tombstones. You have the born date and you have the departed date, and in between is a dash, and that's considered your dash life. How you live your dash life is completely up to you, but you only have that one guarantee. And I think that, you know, as for as much as people go on dates and they talk about, you know, the kids that they want to have and, you know, where they want to live and all that type of stuff, you also need to talk about those types of things. Like, people assume that, you know, when you get married, we're going to get buried side by side because I want to be buried right next to you. Let's go out and buy these plots and, you know, pay for it over the course of our lives. That way our children don't have to worry about it. But, like, what if that's not for you? Like, those are conversations that should be introduced fairly early. And I'll say, in hindsight, you and I are just weird. We had a lot of really difficult conversations very, very early on in our friendship. Not just the relationship, but in our friendship. We had those difficult conversations so that we could map out and iron out a lot of things, so that now that we're sitting here at almost 3 years, some things just aren't new because we're like, no, we already covered that. We already discussed that type thing.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you why. At close to 40 at the time when her and I met, I'm like, I didn't want to waste time. I also needed to see if this was going to be somebody that was going to be a anchor. Because if I deemed you as an anchor.
Here you go with that anchor analogy. Were you an airman or a Navy man? Like, come on, sir.
If you were an anchor with the work that I had put in post-divorce, I couldn't have another anchor in my life, period. If my daughter's an anchor,
Y'all, he gives the same anchor speech all the time. Sometimes I think he was in the Navy, not the Air Force.
So these are conversations that, as an older person, I realize even at the early phase of a relationship, it is important to talk about. And one of the big reasons that you have to do it is it's good to see the way that the other person thinks.
Right.
And really analyze what they are saying to you.
Mm-hmm.
And put that with what they also do as well, like what you've seen them do, how you've seen them act, because them in totality. That's my favorite word, in totality. What you see in totality when you factor in the way that they think and what they do, they're literally showing you who they are.
Right.
And if people at the very early stages, pre-deployment, you're seeing chaos. You're seeing a lack of commitment. You're seeing a lack of motivation into trying to make that relationship work. I would ask you, why do you want it to work?
So I think I may be misquoting the person. I think it was Oprah who said it, but I could be wrong. Said something to the effects of, don't believe what people say, believe what they show you. So don't believe when someone is saying, you know, I'm going to do all these things. Believe what they show you. The person, the attitude, the characteristics, the integrity or not that they show you, that's what you should believe. And I think that that's something that people don't think about when they're entering into relationships, especially if there's an element of service involved in it and a possible deployment.
Okay. How do you think that couples should view separation to where they can make it a positive thing? Because I don't think that separation is easy. We're literally talking about when you're deployed, or for the civilians, you're taking a job that's in another area. You signed up for Peace Corps at one point, and the way your text came to me, it looked as if you said, "Oh, hey, I just signed up for Peace Corps," and I was like, "Wait, what?" Which would have been a shock to me because I know how she is about separation. So I was like, "Oh, well, if you end up going somewhere, that's cool."
So first of all, I started medication for my ADHD, and it has me looking at life in a completely different lens now. And I was going through all of my emails, and I was texting King this barrage of messages talking about how I did random stuff. I had all these random emails, and unmedicated Michelle medicated Michelle should not be held accountable for the things that unmedicated Michelle did. Had this whole thing, and I sent him a screenshot of my application to the Peace Corps, and I said I applied to the Peace Corps. I should have specified in that message that I did that back in 2012, but here we are nonetheless. I think if there is a separation that has to happen, a physical separation that has to happen, that both people should take that time to grow, to continue to strengthen and fortify who they are as individual people, because you have the beauty of being in a relationship, but not necessarily the time constraints that come with being in a relationship. So take that time to work on you, become a better professional, become a gym rat if you need to. Like, take that time to work on you. Take a class. You and I used to take ASL classes together. Take that time to go learn a language, something, become proficient in something. That way you have a marketable skill that you're bringing back to your relationship.
That's a logical thing to do, but this is actually a great transition to go to the next part here. The home front.
Ooh.
Let's actually make that transition.
Okay.
Now I am gone. The other person is gone. There's a home front, things that happen back home, and then there's the deployed front, things that happen at the deployed location.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think has it worse? And I'd like for y'all to comment as well. Is it worse for the deployed person, or is it worse for the person that stays back home, and why?
I think depending on the person that you married, it is worse for the deployed person.
Why?
Because if you married someone who you don't really know, or someone that you do know and you know that they don't handle things well, like maybe they have anxiety or something else, and they don't handle things well, then you are overseas, you are doing your job, you're fighting, you're protecting this country, but you also have the weight of your spouse back home weighing on you. And I think that that combined would make the deployed person's experience worse.
That is my exact same answer. And the only thing that I would add to go along with that is while you're deployed, you have your like deployed unit and the resources that may be available depending on where you're deployed to.
Mm-hmm.
Back home, the home front person typically has a lot more resources. They have family that can more readily come and visit you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you don't have family that's near, or let's say you just moved to be with somebody. So this whole area is new to you. And then boom, 5 months later, that person is deployed to something downrange. While you're still new to that area, you still have better options available to you to have better support customized to you. Whereas the person deployed, no, you deployed, you got the chaplain, you got things in your deployed location, and that's it. Your parents or whatever your support system is can't readily go behind the wire to come and visit you.
Right.
So I agree with you. The deployed person, I think, has it more stress, which is why I think that it's a bigger responsibility for the home front person to just make sure that stuff is straight. Ooh, I had to censor myself. To make sure that stuff is straight,
Mm-hmm.
so that they don't add that extra burden to the deployed serviceman or servicewoman.
Yeah, I would agree with you. But I'm going to guess that you didn't think that that's what I was going to say.
I did not guess that, but having you answer that way makes me go, you get it.
Wow.
You get it. That's awesome, babe.
Thank you.
That is awesome. You can get a kiss.
Thank you.
All right. So back when I was growing up, we didn't have Facebook. Back in my day, we didn't have Facebook. We had email. And the generation.
Did you have MySpace?
There was MySpace. MySpace was more prevalent back in my day.
Back in my day.
Facebook was just kind of beginning to be a thing. But we did have email. The internet depending on where you were deployed to,
You had dial up.
Yes, it was dial up.
I'm teasing him, y'all, because he's 2 years older than me. We're not that far apart, but them 2 years make a difference.
The generation before me, as they were going through deployments, they had snail mail,
Ooh,
postage
yeah.
stamp, and writing down a letter. Today, it's a little bit more accessible to be able to call back home and talk to your loved ones and things like that.
I'm going to be honest. I would have, even right now, if you were to re-enlist right now, I would have an expectation of a letter a week, a physical, tangible letter a week.
Ooh.
Or 2 weeks.
Ooh.
But I would want a handwritten letter.
It wouldn't.
Okay, maybe once a month. But I'd want
I could do that.
I'd want a handwritten letter.
Okay.
I would want a handwritten letter.
Yes, I could commit to that. I cannot commit to once a week.
Because you wouldn't have content or because you wouldn't have time?
Content.
Oh, well, I wouldn't care about what it said. It could just be a letter that says, I love you. And that's literally it. 3 words on a piece of paper, folded up, put in an envelope, and then stuck in the mail to come to me.
That would be pretty much all you would get. Still alive, love you.
Well, obviously you're still alive if you're writing it.
Week 3, I had eggs and bacon today. Still alive again, love you.
But I like that. Like, I'm weird enough to say that I would like that.
Do you think that there are certain pitfalls, though, with more accessibility or more access today with deployed people? Or is it better that we do have more access so that whether you are deployed or, for the non-civilians, you're across the country on a 6-month work assignment, that it makes it easier to stay in contact with somebody?
I think the expectation increased once technology increased. That because you can call me, you can email me, you can do all these things that can come to me pretty quickly, my expectation is that I hear from you more often. And I think that that can put some strain on the relationship as well.
It can.
Like, there's that expectation.
Depending on the person, like, I actually enjoy talking to you. But
did y'all hear that?
But only when it matters, right? Because, like, I don't like being on the phone. Like, I'd be like, hey, you said everything that you got to say, because I don't just want to hear.
No, your exact words are, got anything else?
Yes. I don't like being on the phone unless I have something to talk about.
First of all, I just want to call BS. Like, if we were playing the game BS, I would throw out my car right now and call BS on that.
I messed up.
You did.
I messed up.
Y'all know that we always say don't do something like
early in the relationship
that you can't maintain later.
I messed up.
King and I, before we even started like really, really dating like that, King and I would stay on the phone all night long. Was it or was it when we first started dating?
You finish what you say, because I got a point.
We would stay on the phone all night long, to the point where this was back when I used to go to work at 6 a.m. We would still be on the phone. Like, I could just hear him snoring in the background, and we would still be on the phone. And then I would get into work. I'd get into my classroom, and then I'd be like, okay, I love you. He'd still be knocked out, and then I'd hang up the phone. But we had stayed on the phone all night long. All night long. All night. Hey. All night long. All night. Go ahead.
2 things. Number 1.
He about to steal my thunder, my shine.
When I realized that really wasn't my truth, as they say, and I realized I don't like doing that, I said something. That's number 1. Number 2, I was investing in you early to see if you were worth bringing along this train, the train that's going this way, which you can find on thekingandmeshow.com. I had to put that time in early just to see if you were worth keeping around. But once I was like, you know what? Yeah, I need her to know I don't really like being on the phone like that. It's my job to communicate that and tell her.
It was a quick shift, too. It's like Monday, we were all lovey-dovey on the phone. Tuesday, I don't really like being on the phone that much. Like, what?
Shout out to CC Smith, said, hey, Chew, because he don't call me. Yeah, Mom, I be busy. So when thinking about, we talked about the support system. what do you think that a support system should look like?
For the person who didn't leave, right?
Go with that. Yes.
Okay. I think a support system for the person who didn't leave should look like friends and family checking in. Maybe not every day, like unless that's what you were doing before, but I think you need to check in on that person, make sure that they're okay, make sure that they don't need anything. So this is my shameless plug that if you know someone who is currently married to or dating someone who is currently deployed or away on travel, on business, or something like that, check in on them. Like, reach out to them because sometimes people may not say when they're in need, and you should just reach out and check on that person. So I would say check in on them. Schedule quality time to be with that person. So maybe you have a date with them like once a month where it's just you going over, hanging out with that person and engaging with them. Let them continue to feel the love and support that they would have if their spouse were home. But then on the flip side, when their spouse does get home, fall all the way back. Like, this shouldn't be that Billy Joel is getting home on the 15th of October and you're trying to see them on the 16th or something like that. No, like they just got back home from their deployment schedule time later so that they can go back and get reintegrated to their life, to their family.
You're deployed. I'm back home. We're in our 20s. We're married. Lisa from my job baked me a casserole because she know that I don't cook. Is that okay?
Is Lisa married or is she single?
Ooh. Okay. Lisa is 42 years old. She is not married. She understands military life. And she is one of the elders in the church. She's a pastor. She's a pastor.
All right, that's fine.
Okay. She's not a pastor. She's mid-30s. She's engaged. And her husband, her soon-to-be husband is in the same unit. So that's how we know each other.
That's fine.
But y'all aren't friends.
That's fine.
What do y'all think? Put it in the comments.
Now, notice how he didn't get to that one where Lisa's in her 20s and she's single. Yeah, no.
I knew that answer. They knew that answer.
Everybody knew that answer.
Everybody knew that answer. Now, we talked about pre-deployment. We kind of quickly went over the deployment phase. But I think we need to spend a little bit more time on that reintegration. Mm-hmm. You're somebody that is either away on travel for an extended period of time, and while y'all have been communicating very often, now you're back face to face. You're back in the same city. You can literally reach out and touch that person. Sometimes that can be difficult.
Yeah.
Why would you guess for the military person that can be difficult?
Because I'm assuming, depending on where they were stationed and what they've just gone through, it's going to take a while to mentally adjust back to being safe, to being in a place where safety can be found. Because they probably weren't in a very safe place. They were probably doing things that were really dangerous. I like to think of PTSD in general, post-traumatic stress disorder. So when you think of that, it's not it's not what we see dramatized all the time on social media or on television. It can be something as simple as you learned how to sleep on, because this is what I've heard from people who were in the Army. You learned how to sleep on the ground and get really, really comfortable with sleeping on the ground. So something as simple as now sleeping on a mattress seems really foreign to you because you just spent 9 months sleeping on the ground. Mm-hmm. And that's small, but that is still a level of post-traumatic stress disorder, and that's still an adjustment. So now you have to recalibrate your mind from being in survival mode to now being in living mode. And that can be a big shift.
It is. And that's really good for somebody that didn't serve in the military. You have a good understanding of that process and what happens to people. But I want to highlight that and stay right there for a second.
Okay, I'm not going to move.
The effects of PTSD isn't just an acronym or a term that's designated to military people.
Mm-hmm.
It's an acronym that's designated to events that happen in life.
And see, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So I have PTSD, and I didn't realize until in my 20s, I want to say probably mid to late 20s, that I had PTSD, because I legitimately thought that PTSD was something that only people in the military could experience. I did not realize that it was something that non-military people could experience, because in my defense, growing up, all of the literature, all of the television that we ever saw that ever talked about PTSD came at it from a military angle.
What I'm curious about now, and I need somebody, if you are somebody that is currently in, or if you just got out of the military, I'm curious, are they doing the reintegration events and things when you come back that they were doing when I was getting out? At least in the Air Force, we had a reintegration period and a reintegration briefing and things where they had like a chaplain come by, mental health services, and some people, because you didn't want to say the wrong thing, and then now you put over into this category,
right,
and that affected your ability to serve. Some people would just check. And y'all, I'm telling you, I'm not the expert here, but as somebody that has observed a whole lot of people, to include myself, when you rubber stamp something, you're literally just covering it up with makeup until time goes by. And then if left untreated, I'm going to raise my hand. If left untreated, it will come crashing down, not just on you, but everybody connected to you. And I get it, babe. I get it. Oh, you're saying you.
I'm saying,
yes.
Me. So people aren't going to want to hear this, but this also relates to one other population of people that we haven't discussed yet.
Oh, who?
People who have been incarcerated. Because
why do you say that?
For whatever reason that they've been incarcerated, when people are coming out, like we look at, of course now the word is not coming to my mind. What is it? Recidivation. People, when they run the risk of going back in, words are not working for me right now.
Recidivism? Recidivated? No, not vated. Recidivism.
But essentially what it boils down to is when you have people who have been in prison, there is no chaplain who comes to speak to them about coming out, like when their time is up. They don't have all of those re-entry back into the world things unless they actually are going through like a halfway house or something like that to help bring down the probability that they'll go back in. So some people look at lifelong, and I'm just going to, lifelong people who are in and out of the correction system, and they look at them with a level of judgment. And I'm like, that's no different from people who continuously re-up for another deployment season, because that's all they know. Being in prison is all that they know. And that is the reality that they've grown accustomed to. They've grown accustomed to someone telling them when they have to wake up every day, when they get to do this, when they have to go to sleep. They're used to 3 hots in a cot. They're used to like that level of rigidity and regularity and uniformity, and coming out into the real world where they have to make all of these decisions for themselves. And, you know, maybe they've been incarcerated for over a decade, and we know things change every single year. So a decade, 10 years of not being around those constant changes, they come out and it's a whole new world. And they're like, I know nothing about this, but I do know what's going on inside this jail. So I'm going to do something to get myself back in there.
Note to our clips editor, please add more context to that, because depending on where that gets clipped,
right?
Michelle early on the King and Me show said that the military and jail are the same thing.
They are not. I am in no way, shape, or form saying that they are. I am in no way, shape, or form saying that they are. I'm saying the PTSD from going through is similar.
Yes, ma'am. I had to put that out there so that our clips editor know, to make sure that a disclaimer or something.
I am saying the PTSD from the two of them can be similar. I'm saying that when you come out, because you've heard this, every church that I've been a part of has always worked with a prisons ministry. And that is something that I've heard often. Someone agrees with me. That is something that I've heard often, that for inmates, when they are convicted felons, when they are coming out, that there's a level of discomfort that they experience. And mentally, psychologically, that's what leads them to commit crimes again, to go back inside to the familiarity that they've grown accustomed to.
Okay. I would like to give a shout out to Pop Culture Warrior over on WTF Nation Radio. Said, "What's good, y'all? Nice to see some friendly faces and wholesome content. Hey, I appreciate you tuning in."
I think you're talking about me.
And also said, yes, because I don't have a friendly, I ain't got a friendly face. Also said, to your point, you ain't wrong. And like, look, you ain't wrong. Even if it was out of context, it is kind of the same.
Don't get me in trouble with
no,
the military.
I'll fall on that sword. I will absolutely fall on that sword. But yes, the word was recidivism. It is the tendency of a formerly incarcerated individual to reoffend.
Yeah. And you're going to see that very, very high for people who have been in for a long time. Like, there is always going to be that part of people who have been in for a really, really long time who are like, oh, I would love nothing more than to get out. But then I'm telling you, once you add those decades to that, like, can you imagine being knocked out for a decade? Think about the things that have happened from 2015 until now. You come out and you know nothing about that. No firsthand experience or knowledge of any of that. That is going to be a difficult world for you to adjust to and to try to reacclimate to. And again, unless they go through a halfway house where they have to meet with like a PO, their parole officer, or they have to check in with someone, or they have like a steady support system, the chances of recidivism are high because they're going to want to go back to the familiarity.
What iPhone do you have? The iPhone, what, 15, 16?
I don't know. It's an iPhone.
Let's say you've got the 16. Can you imagine the iPhone 6 going to that?
Like, I remember, I used to have an iPod Shuffle. You were talking to someone who owned, I won an iPod Shuffle. It was the one time in my life that I've ever won like a sweepstakes. You know how like you walk into a store and they're like, you're the 50th customer, you get XYZ. Well, that actually happened to me at a grocery store back in Baltimore.
Nice.
And I won an iPod Shuffle.
Do you still have it?
I don't know where that sucker is.
I still have mine, and I know exactly where it's at, and it works.
No, but I do have one of my old flip phones. I think it was the first color flip phone that I got. I do still have that. It's in the middle console of my car. But yeah.
You know, I've been out a while. You are dating a military veteran. You are in a relationship with a military veteran.
Ooh, he cute too.
Do you see what you know about military culture? Did you see things early in me that concerned you, that you think would have been an impact from the military, specifically just the military?
No, I don't think I saw anything in you that would have concerned me. But I think that's also because by the time I met you, you had been out for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm. I think that there are a group of veterans out there. And look, y'all veterans that watch our show, let us know. Tell me if I'm thinking about this wrong or not. But there are certain veterans that when they get out, they don't really walk away from it fully. They still have a lot of that stuff that's there. They don't bring the good stuff. They bring a lot of they bring more of the bad stuff than they bring with the good stuff. And I think that for some of those people, those are the ones that you see struggling all of their relationships, not just the romantic ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
But all of their, from their kids, their siblings, their significant others, their peers, their jobs.
There's some things that you do that I wouldn't immediately say, oh, well, the military made him like that. There are just some things that I'm like, it could be from the military. It could be because you're a Southerner. It could be because you're a man and you're chivalrous.
Like what?
For example, you actually walk on the outside of the curb.
Yes.
Is that military? Is that Southern? Is that because you're chivalrous? Like, who knows? But you do that. What's something else? You always have to sit facing a door. Is that military? Is that chivalry?
Ooh.
Or is that because you're from the South? Like, who knows, like, what that's from? It's not a bad thing. I'm in no way, shape, or form knocking it or saying that I don't like that, but that is something I see, and I wouldn't necessarily chalk that up to the military made you do that. I will say something that's very, very military, and I appreciate this about you is you don't have, and I say this in the most respectful way, you're okay with trying any food at least once. And I think that's because in the military, you had to eat some things. Like, you didn't have very many choices.
MREs, baby, meal ready to eat.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, like, I think that is very much military, because that's not a Southerner. Like, if it were the Southern part of you, you would be more restricted on what you ate. But no, I think because of that, because you were very, very open to meals, I think that is 1000% military. When we first met, I don't even know how it came about, but if you say something and I agree or I understand, I'll say, sir, yes, sir. That's very much military. I don't know how I got that, how we got to the point where I say that now, but yeah, that's something that's very much military. But overall, I wouldn't say that you have a lot of tendencies that I see that scream he was in the military.
Okay. Shout out to Mouser over on W. I messed up your name. I'm sorry.
Oh, goodness.
Blame my roll tide.
Musa?
Yes, Mouser. House, heist, mouse, mice. All right. I got a couple of questions here, and then we're going to wrap up the show so that we can transition over to the Monday edition hosted by ICE. Question number 1. For those who have experienced deployments, what's one piece of advice you would give to a couple that's about to go through it?
Mm-hmm.
Answer that one. Question number 2. What are some creative ways you've shown love and support to a partner from a distance? And then the final question is, to the veterans in our audience, what do you wish civilians understood about dating someone with military experience?
How about you answer that one?
I don't have time.
Aw, you can't give an abbreviated version?
Okay. I would say to the question of what do I wish civilians understood about dating someone with a military experience, I would say if someone that they've seen, no matter what their job was, they've experienced stress that you might not understand, even if you've gone through stressful life events and stuff yourself. So I would say show some grace to somebody who may be able to go 0 to 100 real quick, because you have to, you're trained to react.
Okay.
And I would say give a little bit of grace to somebody that you're just getting to know.
Okay. I like that. So I see that Weekend Co-ops put something in, and then we got a few closing comments as we get ready to head out.
All right, let's see. Weekend Co-op said, communicate, but do not over communicate. There's no such thing as too much. All right, absolutely.
There is a such thing.
There is a such thing as too much. See? Roll Tide. Mouser said, my answer to question number 1 and 2 is to be patient. Which is funny because that was what you were saying. To number 3.
Your mom commented and said that she does sit facing the door as well. I do too if King's not around. So if there's no other man around and I'm like the older one, I do sit facing the door. I'm also the one who will take the outside of the curb. And then your dad said,
good old Mr. MREs. And you know what? Question number 4. What's y'all favorite MRE? Put that down in the comment section. All right, y'all. This has been another episode of the King and Me Show. The Monday edition is going to be coming up next, hosted by Ice on WTF Nation Radio. Michelle and I will be back live for our anniversary. I said I want to avoid spending time with her so much so. No. I said that wrong. Because we love each other so much, we want to show that love to everybody. And instead of canceling our live stream, we are going to have an episode on our anniversary.
Yes.
So come back and tune in for that, as we're going to be peeling behind the layers of finances.
Because everyone loves a good financial conversation.
And being real transparent, since her and I are about to move in together.
Transparency.
All right. So thank y'all for tuning in. I'm King.
I'm Michelle.
And we out.
Love you, baby.
Love you. Bye, y'all. Oh, my bad.
Bye.
Peace.